Would you like a completely mob-proof base in the wilderness with everything you could possibly need for your Minecraft life? Don't you go anywhere. I'm going to show you how to make it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my house tutorial series. Except this isn't really a house. We are going to be building an entire base, a base for Minecraft 1.14. It's not going to be a little base. It's going to be a fairly significantly sized base that we're going to have all kinds of separate buildings all on one individual mob-proof area. Because we don't want mobs on our base. Definitely not. Let's crack on with it. This is a fairly decent size base. Each one of these pins here is going to be 3 high, so that's 2 and 3. These ones at the front, obviously, they are ever so slightly longer because they've gone down one level. What that means is this base can basically be built on any terrain because you just make the legs longer or shorter as required. So these ones end up 4 long, but the others end up 3 long, and that gives us a flat base. I'm just going to leg up entirely. One full set of legs, 3 high or 4 high, depending on where they are. So now we're going to make an internal space. I'm just going to use these blocks at the moment to gather all the way around. It's going to come across about halfway across the entire width of the building here, and it's going to come all the way on the inner side of these legs. So you can see we've got a bit of depth as we come in. That makes it look like it's just a little bit more interesting when you look at it from a distance. Much more interesting if you give yourself depth on your buildings. That's going to be our internal space. I'm going to build that up so it is the height of the legs, and I'll be back in just a moment. So there's one internal space there, and it looks a little bit prison-like at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to just jazz it up ever so slightly by changing up some of the walls with some textured stone. Yep, so we're going with cobblestone, we're going with some stone, we're going with andesite, and we're going with some mossy cobble as well. And I'm just going to intersperse it in amongst these stone bricks, just randomly, completely, just to give it a little bit more depth. It makes it look more interesting. It'll also make it look less prison-like, I think. Perhaps a little bit more rustic, which is what we're trying to go for here. I'm going to put some stone bricks in the base of just this section here and floor off all of that with stone brick, and I'm probably going to mix that up with different stone as well. I'm going to leave this as grass just for the moment because that's got an entirely different purpose. I took the decision that the mossy cobble just wasn't working. If you freestyle a build and something isn't working, don't be afraid to just not go with it. It just didn't look right. The mossy cobblestone texture didn't fit in with the grey, but I have decided also to leave this floor entirely brick, at least for now. Now what we're going to do was going to get some stripped wood. I'm loving the stripped wood. This is stripped oak. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one block there, and I'm just going to get myself the plank direction that I want to go in. So all of these stripped oaks have to be facing in the same way. If they don't, this stripped oak wood is going to look a little bit weird. So we've got to come all the way across. You can see here, right the way to the end, like that. Got a little wandering trader's decided to jump up and say hello with his spitting llamas. Hello, mate. Now we're going to overlap by 1 on each side. Let's build up this floor so all of these planks are running in the same direction and come out 1 beyond where these support structures are. I'll be back when that's completed, and I'm going to make sure I don't do anything like that because that just don't work. That is one big platform we've got there, and we've trimmed it around with some oak steps upside down. It just makes it that little bit more mob proof. I know spiders won't be able to climb up and get over it, but I like the feel it gives when it is just completed with a stone step. Inside this bit here, however, we've got a bit of a hole, so we're going to get some spruce stairs, and we're going to put some right way around spruce stairs there. We're going to put some upside down spruce stairs along that way. We're going to come back, repeat the process until we've got all the way down. That looks like a grand entrance. We're going to do something to make that mob proof in a bit. It won't be too hard. And we are now going to take another decision. Do we want to trim all the way around this with a fence, or will we be using some of this edged area to build up on? So this is where we really start to freestyle now. I'm going to take a line. Which line should I take? Let's take the line. Now this line here should be around about that inner wall. So let's go with that, I think. Let's go 5, and we're going to go here. I think that is, let's go one more there. And then we're going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 16, 17. And that leaves us 1, 2, 3, 4. That leaves us 5. And I reckon if we come across 1, 2, 3, leave a gap 1, 2, 3, we could then come in a little bit further, shall we say? Yeah, I might leave that as a gap actually as well there, and come in 1, 2, all the way along, and then block that off like that. I reckon that is the start of our rooms, and I've got a bit of an idea. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but it might just work. So I'm going to come in, say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here I'm just going to pop a bit of a wall across that way. Let's go a 5th one as well, and then I'm going to bring another wall. I'm just sort of freestyling a bit of an outline, so you can see we're starting to build what's likely to be kind of a bit accommodation like, or utilities building like, I'm not sure. Let's put a hole there as well, and I think that starts to work rather nicely. I'm going to have another building over here, so let's have a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4. Is 4 enough? Yeah, why not? And we'll have, right, coming out just beyond that, just to make it slightly more interesting, I think. And we'll come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I don't normally like even numbers, but I'm going to go with this time because I've got some thoughts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to leave that just open. And then on this side we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm just going to make a horseshoe shape using that top wall. So as it goes along 9, that then dips in. That's looking all right. And I'm then going to bring it along here. I think we need another little building as well. Perhaps we take this all the way out here. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And come along here with this as well. 8, 9. So what I'm now going to do, I'm just going to start to build up these buildings a little bit. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to get an oak log, and I'm going to do, let's get my oak log here. And I think what I want to do, how many do I want? I might bring this wall out just one more, all the way along, like this. Cut that bit out, and then use this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. And I can come along 4, 5, 6. I reckon that'll do. And then if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, gap, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that works beautifully. We like that. So that is going to work very well. I'm going to start to build these walls up a little bit. I'm going to go upwards with my stripped oak. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right, so I'll be back in a minute when I've built up a little more wall. So what we got starting to form now is a bit of an outline of the buildings that are going to form part of this base. Some of them are going to be for living quarters, some for storage, some for resource preparation, some for farming maybe. So this is really what we've got to work with, and I think we can go up a little bit in some areas and not so much in others, just to make it look a little bit interesting. And then we need to make it look fancy. But the first thing we need to do is to take what we've got with this cobblestone wall and create something that looks just a little bit nicer. The cobblestone is very bland and boring and we need to fancy it up. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'll be back when I've done that. So we've started to put just a little more of the detail in there. Still loads and loads to do on this yet, but I think we've got the basic shape for what it is we're doing. I'm just going to fill in this. I'm going to make 4x5 squares with a gap in the middle. We're going to leave that like that for the moment, because what we're also going to do, we're going to prep for what this area here is going to be. You're probably thinking, what's this silly looking wall? Well, we are going to create an internal space here using some obsidian. So no prizes for guessing what this is going to be. So when we light that up, that is going to be our nether portal, and it's going to be kind of an internal external space, because we're going to build around this area here to make that an overhang on this part, but these bits, or at least one of these bits, is going to have a second store. I think it's going to be this side here is going to end up with a second story, because we can put a lean-to effect on this side and also on this side, just to give it a bit more interest. So I'm going to build up these walls a little bit further. So if I take this cobble here and I continue to build up this wall another 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, I might do a 5th, just about tall enough, and then I can continue that wall, and then I can make the wall kind of detailed in the same way as this is, grow the oak log up to the top of that as well. What we're also going to do is we're going to come inside here, because this is going to be the access to what I think is going to become our mine, because this is what I wanted this area down here to be. So I'm going to take these steps out here. I'm going to get, oh, they're already there. I'm going to bring that there and there, that there and there. Then what I can do, just to hide up the fact that we've got that obsidian there, is we're going to do something with the ceiling. I'm first of all going to trim it all the way around with some steps, and then I'll do probably a slab for the ceiling to give us sort of no problems with that obsidian, because that obsidian is going to get in the way. So that'll be stage 2. We're also, obviously, we're going to create some door areas there and also there, and on the others as well. So there's a bit of work to do. I am going to get some glass panes and create those windows, and this is going to be, I think this is going to be a cactus farm, just so as we can build up some cactus. We want this cactus for something else I'm going to do in a sec, so it's all starting to come together. Built up the top half, and we've started to put the kind of lean-to roof on this side. All looks a little bit bland at the minute. We're going to deal with that, don't you worry. But we've got some windows, and inside here we're putting in a mezzanine floor, because we're going to keep this part open. It all at the minute looks very cobbly. We are going to fix it, don't worry. You know I don't like the cobble. It's dark inside here, but we've got a nice nether portal to play with. We've also trimmed these around because of what I think I'm going to do, and I wasn't necessarily going to do this. I'm going to make these two connect up through this portal here. This then creates another room, and then over the top we can create a single room that spans all of them. I think that might look quite good. I think it's all starting to come together in my head, but I'm not entirely certain. But it will work, it will work. Let's get just a little more done and see if we can't get it roofed up. We have got a roof. It's still a little bit plain. We are going to do something with it. I'm not quite sure what yet, but we do have inside here, we've got kind of an attic room as well, which is going to allow us to perhaps put some kind of dormer siding onto one or even both of those sides of the roof. We've trimmed the windows and we've created all the floor inside, and I think we are starting to get a little bit of shape. We've begun to build the structure that I mentioned around here. It's sort of coming together. This side was purely going to be, I think, entrance to go up, and obviously entrance to go through there as well. And then this will be more closed off, and we've still got to do something with this little cactus farm bit, which is going to be completely automatic, no redstone or anything daft like that. but it will allow us to collect the cactus green. We're getting there. There is a lot of detail to add to this and a lot of functionality, and we've also got the area under here that I want to do some things with as well as coming around this side, the area under here, which has clearly got some work to do. We have got a lot more of the structure complete now. We've made the second level and roofed this off. We've made it a little bit flatter just so as it contrasts with the other large building, but it is still pretty decent size, and we're going to get some quite interesting stuff going on inside there. I think we've covered over this walkway so as it is a true travel path here, so that just makes it more linked with the main building. We've got the sand and everything ready for the cactus right here, and we've glazed all of these places except for these ones here. We've started to glaze them up. I'm just going to finish off the glazing by popping in the glass here, here, here and here, and the same on this side. So I think we've got a lot more structure and a lot more detail to put in now, and I also want to include the stuff underneath on both of these sides, so a big old jump to the next step. I decided I needed to get some dormer sidings on this roof. It just was too up and down, too much of a big brown area, and as a result these two little dormer sides work really quite well. We've also now put an entrance into that upper level, so you get to it by coming down here and you come through the door. I'll put a load of doors on as well. I don't think I've done that, had I? Right, and up here and up the stairs, and there we go. So we've got a really nice big area there. So we need really to start to fill these things out a little bit. I think decide what area is going to be for what, how we're going to do this, that and the other, because I want there to be something for everything that you can do in 1.14 realistically. I mean, we're not going to have a villager breeder or an iron farm on here, absolutely not, but we are going to want to be able to do all the things that you do in survival, all the potential crafting, etc. So we need various workstations in order to be able to do that. So I'm going to start to decide which of these areas are going to be suitable, and we'll start to get this thing done. I've worked out what I'm going to do with this area here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this the access for the area underneath. Otherwise, I realise what you've got to do is you've got to come down all of the stairs all the way around and then in through that hole there, and that's not really what I'm after for this one. So what I'm going to have here, I think I'm going to do the entrance coming in this direction, and we're going to dig out. Oh, not there, that won't work at all, will it? So let's come closer. Let's come here, there, and how does that put us? Right, so we need to come up one more there as well, I think. That's perfect. So we're right up against the edge there. That's what I'm after. And actually, I'm going to come out one more. And we're going to create a stairway down in exactly the same way we do with the other stairways, like this. It's going to be right against the edge of that window. I quite like the look of that. That's quite nice. Now, this internal area is going to be like animal pens and stable and that kind of stuff. So I need to fit that out. If I just get that there, like there and there. That's perfect. So now I should be able to go up and down. That's great, fantastic. So let's clear this area out a little bit and just give ourselves a little bit of space. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have I got a fence? You know what, I'm not going to use fencing. Yes, I'm going to use fence gates actually. Let's put a fence gate in there. So that's one. I'm going to have another fence area coming out like that. I think that will be big enough with a gate. Put the gate in there, then another one here like this. That coming this way. That's perfect. So that's my animal pens themselves. I like those very much. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create like a horse enclosure, like a stable as well. And that will give us plenty of room. So I'm going to crack on with that as well as some of the other stuff too. And I think the next time you see me, we're going to be nearly finished. We're at the other end of the base now, and what we're doing here is we're digging down, so we've got ourselves a little bit more space. I like the idea of being able to come down from the outside one level. So I'm going to trim this off all with steps like that, so you're coming down. That also gives us a little bit more head height, because if you can see up here, we've got a little bit of the Nether Portal sticking out over the top. So I need to get, in fact, I've had an idea. Need to get some trap doors over the top. So I'm going to put these trap doors on here. This is an idea. Not had this one before. Okay, so that's going to fill up the whole of the roof. So I'm going to carry on doing that as well. So we've got a nice chocolate roof there. Carry on around the stairs around this way, and then we can do what we're going to do inside here. This is going to be a bit of a production area, and hopefully it'll give us the ability to produce some quite useful stuff. Quick update on what's gone on under here. We've got all of that roofing. We've got sugarcane growing at the back. We've got both melons and pumpkins growing here. This is our villager trader fuel. So melons and pumpkins, brilliant. And we've also got the sugarcane. Loads and loads of emeralds coming off the back of the trades that we're going to get from there. And similarly, if we come out the other side, we've got some chickens in this redundant space that's underneath here. We've got some podzol and some coarse dirt, so that doesn't change into grass. And inside here, we've put our animal centre, and we've got all kinds of bits. We've got the new barrels, we've got all of our hay, our sheep are there, our pigs are there, our cows are there, and our horses, which like to stand on the hay bales, I've noticed, are sat there. We've got our horse armour and our saddles there, and obviously plenty of storage and stuff for them to do. We're nearly there. So let's take a look at the finished product. We've got completely mob-proofed base here. You can't get in if you're a mob. You can't spawn on it if you're a mob. It is exactly the way you want. You don't want to get out of bed and have a zombie want to eat your face. Lots of lanterns. I've not used a single torch anywhere in this build. You've already seen everything underneath here. That then comes up to this area here. We've got an active cactus farm there that's working beautifully already. We've got an area through here, which I'm going to show you. If we come up here, that brings us to our magic room. You can see with potions and enchanting, etc. It looks all very nice. And then coming down here, we've got a room here that is completely free to do whatever you want, really. I've deliberately not done anything in it. This is our cooking room. We've got smokers, blast furnace, and normal furnace in here. We've got our little walkway, and I'm going to come across and down this way. We've got just some nice, interesting looking decoration, quite uniform. We've got our farm with potatoes and wheat and carrots. Come around the front, you can see we've got the entrances to the building. Before I do that, I'm going to come down here. Let's come through here. You can see we've got composters for all the excess. We've got melons, we've got pumpkins, we've got our sugarcane. Let's come back through. Can't get inside there if you're a mob either. It's completely mob safe. If we then come through this door here, this is our crafting area. We've got crafting tables, we've got stone cutters, looms, cartography tables, and of course the stone, so as we can fix and de-enchant stuff. We've got some storage. We come upstairs. We've got a nice open area with just various different pieces of armour. Coming through this way, we've got a nice veranda area that we could just look out onto the countryside, maybe see raids coming and fire at them from a distance. That would be quite useful. Coming through this way up to the top, we've got a further storage area. That's where we've got a load of shulkers. Coming down again, we'll come out of this door here. This door, we've got our cocoa bean farm, so as we can get lots of cocoa beans. Again, we can look out and see raiders coming from this direction if necessary. This is a mass storage area, which is a mezzanine to that lower down below area. We've got our 2 high plant farms, so if we bone meal those, we can get plenty of different plants, so we can make dyes out of that. We've made it look a little bit pretty. Somewhere to sleep, all of our equipment, our standard uniform there with our armour. Plenty of storage around this bit as it goes down to our mine, all the way down and round and through into the area that we can start our mine. I've not actually started the mine yet, but this is 2 blast furnaces in order to cook up any of the ores that come along. Close that door. That door then stops any mobs from coming up from the mine into our base. Through these doors we have got, we're back to this area here, but we've got our Nether Portal. So if I just bring up our flint and steel, it's blocked very nicely as a result of these gates, so any pigmen coming through can't get into the base. We can light that fella up, and now we've got a working portal. That is a finished base. One complete base, not one scrap of redstone in sight, unless you include the ways to open the doors with those pressure plates. Doesn't really count, does it? So no redstone, no farms in that one. It is dead simple. You could jazz that up with all kinds of automatic farms, I am sure, and I have great faith in your ability to do that. If you have enjoyed that video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making them. And also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.